Brian Fritz here at WrestleMania Radio Row. Apollo Crews is here as well. He's getting ready for his big match against Elias Sampson at NXT TakeOver Dallas. That's actually going to be tonight.
WWE Network.
So what are you doing here early in the morning? You should be training, preparing.
I should, I think I've done everything I can to get up to get to this point. Actually, so we're out here, having some fun, Radio Row, and I'm excited. We're in Access, man. This is amazing.
Have you ever been to an Access before?
This is my first one. It's funny because we've been here. My class has been here for a year now, but this is our first WrestleMania, and I feel like just for being here this amount of time, it's to do our first WrestleMania. It's kind of like, but it feels weird, but. I mean, it's amazing. I just can't stop looking at stuff, and I'm like just so fascinated. I'm like a little kid, and I guess for some people they've done it so much they're used to it, but for me it's still kind of like I still have certain moments in when I go certain places where I still feel like a young kid again, and I'm like I can't believe I work for this company, So it's cool, great experience though.
I was going to say, when you come to something like this and you're a longtime wrestling fan, is it kind of overwhelming just the sheer volume of everything? The enormity of it?
It is, and I think with us having our own show and just some of the attention being focused on us too it makes it that much better and that much cooler, I guess. It's cool when I'm walking down the street, and people stopping for pictures, because I still don't look at myself as that guy. And my family definitely does. They look at me as a little kid that they grew up with, So it's cool just to be a part of that and able to say that I was a part of WrestleMania when we came to Dallas, and it's awesome feeling.
So obviously the NXT brand has grown by leaps and bounds. What's it been like for you to be a part of it, to see the growth as it continues to rise? Even
it does. Like I said, for me, I grew up watching the Attitude Era, and it relates to this because like back then, I'm sure they didn't think they were making history. We didn't think they were making history. We look back and said it's history that was made at that time. For us, I feel like that's what we're doing right now. We'll look at this 10 years later, 13, 15, or 10, 20, whatever, how many years later, and be like, man, you're a part of NXT. I get to tell my kids and my grandkids that, like, you're part of them when they went to Brooklyn, did that, all that stuff. So it's, I mean, Triple H has said this before too, and I agree with it 100%. Is no matter where we go from here, whether it's the main roster or whatever we do, we're gonna look at this, and it's probably gonna be the happiest time of our lives. So. Just to say I was a part of this, or I am a part of this, is amazing.
Was that kind of part of your expectation when you made the decision to come to NXT, where you found that they were interested in you and you reciprocated and said, yeah, that's where I want to be?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. It was. I think everything I did to get up, everything I did before this was to get here. So when they came calling, I kind of was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to take full advantage of the opportunity. I think the timing was perfect, and it couldn't have worked out any better.
So there's so much expectation for this TakeOver show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some fans that even say, I want to see TakeOver more than I want to see WrestleMania.
Oh, it's crazy.
So what do you say to that?
I mean, what can you say to that? You know what I mean? That's just nuts, because WrestleMania is what I grew up watching. Is the biggest event of the year. So for them to want to see us that much it's mind blowing. Because I'm a part of that, you know what I mean? And for me to be a part of something that, some people say they want to see more than what I consider the biggest event growing up as a kid, and it's still to this day, I mean, that feeling is undescribable.
I think you're in a very interesting role when it comes to NXT, because you're a guy that came in there with some experience, but obviously you're still learning some other things as well.
For sure.
So what's that like behind the scenes? Because I'm sure there's going to be some people that you are going to lean on for advice and experience, and then there's going to be some other people that probably do the same, looking to you for that.
For sure. It's weird. I'm in that kind of a position, actually. It's funny because I do go to some people for advice, and a lot of people come to me for advice. So it's interesting to be in that position, but I try to talk to people as much as I can, and just because we all know what we go through. When someone comes to me with a situation, it's like I know exactly what they're going through. You know what I mean? It's funny because like sometimes you can't relate to certain situations if you haven't experienced those in life. But I feel like we go through all the same experiences, so it's easy for us to relate to each other, and I feel like that's why we bond so well, and we're such a close family. And we just want, like I said, we want to go out there. We're all here for the same cause. We want NXT to be the hottest brand in sports entertainment. We want to steal the show. We want the fans to be chanting NXT from the moment they get in the door to the moment they leave. So,
yeah. So what's it like, you've got William Regal there,
Yeah.
who is just an unbelievable wealth of knowledge.
For sure.
What's it like to kind of kick his brain every now and then?
It's the best thing ever, and he's always available for that kind of thing. You know, if he's not at the PC, he says we can email him and stuff like that. And they have all this knowledge that they want to pass on to us. You know, they want to see us succeed, and you don't have that other places besides here. You know, so to have like coaching or someone like William Regal who's been around and done so much, especially who knows how this company works, it doesn't get much better than that. We're set up for success.
Yeah.
We're set up for success.
You know, watching Breaking Ground.
Yeah.
So you see Regal on there, and he notices just the smallest things. He stands
Yeah.
up at the corner. He's sitting going, his footwork is wrong, man.
Right.
His left foot and his right foot, and there's so many little minute details you wouldn't think of,
Right.
and he knows right off the bat.
It's crazy because like some of the stuff he's told me, I wouldn't even think of. You know, I'm like, man, I didn't even think of that. You know, and it's crazy. It's nuts because like you said, the small details like footwork. Not a lot of people pay attention to those kind of things, but the small keys that are the basics that are so necessary to, you know, for you to get to that next level. So it's great to have him around. And it's cool that, especially to have someone who notices certain things like that you may not even think about, that'll just help you become a better superstar overall.
What was it like for you to be a part of Breaking Ground? Did you go back and watch any of it? Because they had like this little cliffhanger with you going into the room with Canyon. They're like, what's going to happen in here?
And I think that was, man, it was weird at first having a camera in my face like all the time. They'd come to my house like at 7 a.m. in the morning with a camera, following me all day, like getting in my car. I'd be in the ring, they'd just be following me. I'd be looking at people like, this is weird. But after a while, the camera, my sister, we were in San Antonio. She walks into the building and there's a camera like right in her face, and she's like, "Are they filming us right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, you're on the show right now." It's cool because after a while you just forget the camera's there and kind of have fun. But when you go back and watch that show, it's cool for the fans to see what we go through because I don't think they understand just how hard we work. You know, we're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the Performance Center. Thursday, Friday, Saturday we have shows along with our workouts in the Performance Center early in the morning or yoga, whatever we might be doing that morning. And Sunday's the only day that we get to, you know, have to ourselves or do laundry or just have the day off and relax. So I don't think that people realize how hard we work. So they got to see it on that show. But at the end of the day, when you come to something like this and you see what all that hard work is for and the bigger picture, it makes it all worth it.
So you've incorporated some yoga into your workouts?
No, oh man, I try to. I'm doing a lot better with it, but I did one yoga class, and I was telling the story earlier with my roommate and at LA Fitness, and I'm in there. You know, by the end of the class, I'm like, oh my god, I'm sweating, drenched, the hardest thing ever. And I look around, all the old ladies are just chilling, relaxed, and I'm like, how is that?
They're all going namaste.
Namaste, and I'm like, oh, thank God this is over. And everyone starts laughing at me, and I'm like, oh God, yoga is not easy.
Well, just imagine if you went to a hot yoga class.
I'd be dead. I wouldn't survive. Someone told me to come to hot yoga, and I was like, man, I sweat in regular yoga when the AC's on. You know, I don't think I could make it in hot yoga.
So, you know, being in NXT, being a performer there, what's it like too when you find out that like, hey, guess who else is coming in here? Because now like Shinsuke Nakamura's there, or even just like on normal days when you go in there to train and there's other guys that are rehabbing or they're training or they're doing whatever that are guys in WWE.
It's cool to me, man, because you get to see so many dream matches here. You know, like you don't get to see a lot of this stuff on anywhere else but here. So I think that's what keeps the fans so interested. Well, it's like, you know, so many different talents from all over the place. Even the young guys that you know, didn't have that kind of experience or didn't make that kind of name for themselves before they got here. It's so talented. So it's cool to see that kind of thing, and it's cool to be a part of.
Yeah,
it's so cool to be a part of.
So are you hoping your match is kind of like you get your match, do it, and then you can change and watch the rest of the show?
Yeah, for sure. Because there's a couple. Well, not a couple. I want to see the whole thing. You know, so I'm excited to do that and enjoy the rest of the show as a fan.
Can you stand in a spot, maybe not just in the back, but kind of a private spot just beyond the curtain somewhere to where you can see when some of the guys come out, especially like the reception that Nakamura is going to get. It's going to be ridiculous.
Crazy. It's going to be crazy. Sometimes we can. I try to find a spot like that just to hear like certain things like that, and I'll watch the rest on the camera. If I want to hear like a reaction for something, there's nothing like being out there with the audience and hearing a reaction because it doesn't do you justice hearing it on the TV. When you're out there, even when you come out for yourself and you just hear how loud everybody is, man, it's just like it's breathtaking.
So do you have good seats for WrestleMania?
Well, I'll be in the back, hopefully.
Oh, you'll be in the back?
I'll be in the back, hopefully.
Because I wasn't sure because sometimes they put people in a suite or whatever they might do.
Hopefully we'll get to be in the back. If I could find like a nice little spot to watch it, like out in the crowd, I'll definitely do that because there's nothing better than experiencing it like that.
You're going to want to watch the show, obviously, but Is it as much for you to kind of see how everything comes together even before the show?
Yeah, I love seeing that kind of stuff. It's crazy to see how it's being put together, and then how the final product. I think that's amazing too, and I like that part too, and then I like the other part of just the experiencing out there firsthand.
So give me one or two things in particular that you're looking forward to when it comes to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, I have to say with Triple H and Roman Reigns, I think it's crazy to see the man I work for, still performing at such a high level, and in the main event of WrestleMania. So that one, I think I'm gonna enjoy as a fan. Uh, AJ Styles, I think I've always been watching him growing up, so it's great to see him out here and a part of this too. So I'm excited to see those two.
Yeah. Last thing, when you see all the talent, not only in NXT,
Yeah.
but all the guys that are in WWE, how much does that play into a motivation for you to say, I want to get there because I want to work with all these different guys. I want to work with everybody here, and then I want to work with everybody here because I will maintain that this roster right now for WWE, and if you include NXT,
Yep.
it's probably the most talented they've had
It's
in a
crazy.
long,
It's
long
so
time.
crazy. You got people who do such different things, and that's a motivation for not just me, but I think all of us to get up there and want to, work certain guys like the AJ Styles, even Chris Jericho. You know what I mean? Roman Reigns. For him being able to do that with Triple H is amazing, and I'd love to be in that position. Especially at WrestleMania. That's awesome. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a motivation for not just me, but for all of us to get up. And I think as the NXT, we motivate, guys wanting to come into NXT as well. So it's cool that we get to be motivated and motivate others to want to be a part of what we are.
So I think the biggest thing that you had said, even in Breaking Ground, that people were looking at for you to work on was promos. So
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
feel that is right now?
I think that they're getting much better. It's definitely an area I need to focus more on. And I know if I want to achieve the goal that I'm trying to get to, I know it has to be perfected. And it's a work in progress. So I'm definitely gonna master that though.
So how often are you hoping that Triple H is around just so you can pull him aside and say, let's talk about this, let's talk about that?
The funny, he's so available. He's more available than you think he'd be. He comes to all our Full Sales. He's here this weekend. He was at Access yesterday, so it's cool to after Full Sale he'll take time to sit down and talk to each one of us individually. And for a man who's so busy, he makes so much time for the guys that he loves and has faith in. So I mean, I find it hard sometimes to text people. You know what I mean? So for him to find time for each one of us individually it's an honor, and I try to take as full advantage of that as I can.
I can honestly say this. I don't think I've ever seen you without a smile on your face.
Man, it's hard not to be. I think I don't know what it is. I think I got it from my mom. Like she's always smiling, and I don't know why. I just feel like I have so much to be happy about.
That's good, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, appreciate the time and looking forward to NXT TakeOver Friday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Definitely.